Introducing the Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RX. If you guys know me, you will know that I absolutely love a Triumph Speed Triple, even if they don't always quite love me back. Now, what's so fancy about this one, you ask? Well, it's got a host of other goodies that the RS does not come with, and it also comes at slightly more of a cost. So, if you're interested to find out more about this vibrant and zesty machine, then definitely keep watching. Meet the 2025 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RX, the ultimate evolution of the Speed Triple platform. Underneath, you've still got that glorious 1160cc inline triple engine, now Euro 5 compliant and kicking out a punchy 180.5 horsepower with 128 Nm of torque. Holding it all together is some seriously smart kit. Erlin's EC3 semi-active suspension, front and rear, constantly adjusting to the road or track beneath you, stopping power, Brembo styleme calipers on big 320mm discs up front, plus a Brembo master cylinder with span and ratio adjustment. Proper top shelf stuff. The full colour TFT dash ties it all together, giving you easy access to the rider modes, rider aids, and full electronic suite. So whether you're on the road or the track, you can set it up exactly how you like it. Other general stats: it has a seat height of 830mm, a wet weight of 199 kilograms, and a 15.5 litre tank as well. So here's the thing, what actually makes the RX different to the standard RS? Well, stick around and you'll find out. Right guys, we are in a race today. A race against the rain. Honestly, I've got this bike for a week and it's forecasted torrential for the rest of the week. The rain's supposed to start at 1 PM. It's currently midday. So we've got an hour to hopefully enjoy this delicious machine on the roads. Oh! Excuse you, matron. But racing against anything is easy on this thing because it is a ballistic missile. As mentioned in the intro, 180 brake horsepower, 128 Nm of torque, and that sexy, best of all worlds inline triple that's got the grunt low down, but it also absolutely comes alive when you have it high in the revs. Oh! So as mentioned, this is the sexy RX version. Not that the RS isn't sexy, because it's very sexy, or at least in my opinion. I get that it's very Marmite, I get that. Especially with that little bug-eyed face that it has. I mean, I personally am a fan because it's different. It's different. You look at this, you know it's a speed triple. Or it goes really fast past you, you might think it's a street triple, but you know, it's very Triumph is what I'm trying to say. Squinty, flat, squashed headlight, I love it. So yeah, I think one of the main things that I'd like to talk about with this bike, and the reason I want to talk about it is because hopefully you guys will have seen my RS videos, whether that was the track day that went a bit petong, or the road review that I've done recently. So this one, it's just a little bit more special. Things that are different, of course, we've got that price, £1,500 more than a base model. And to be honest, the base model comes with all the technology under the sun that you could ever dream of. So there are no kind of technological upgrades on this, except an Öhlins electronic steering damper. Now I feel like if you're a bit of a track heathen and you love a good razz around on the track, then it might be a nice addition for you. God, with a back protector, full leathers in this riding position, and my little punk ass on it, it's quite hard to turn your head to look at what you're about to pull out on. Ah, the sound. So yeah, the price, £1,500 on the RS. You know, what's the incentive for that? Why is it so much more? Well, it's limited in number, 1,200 units. You've also got that electronic steering damper from Öhlins that I just mentioned. You've got a few tasty little carbon bits. You've got it in that limited edition Triumph Performance Yellow, which only kind of comes on their sexy top spec bikes. You got things like the clip-ons and these absolutely delicious machined yokes with the Speed Triple 1200 RX engraved on there. That is a class touch. It's a class touch, and it makes the cockpit one of the sexier cockpits I've ever set eyes on. Of course, we've got the clip-ons for a more sporty riding position, and yeah, it definitely on the road feels more aggressive than the RS. I can imagine on track, you're doing 20-minute blasts at a time. A lot of people are used to sports bikes on track. If you are used to sports bike and you want a road bike that kind of is a naked roadster but it feels more sporty in the riding position, then this is definitely a good option in my opinion. So I think, yeah, the riding position, it'd come into its own on track. But like I say, everyone's different. There'll be a lot of people that'll get on this and ride it and, you know, maybe not think it's aggressive enough. Having said that though, I don't think that'll be the case, because the RR, the Speed Triple 1200 RR that is now discontinued, was more aggressive than this. And yeah, it didn't sell very well. And to be honest, I rode that bike and had to get off it and say I can't ride it, because I was folded up like a pretzel so much. And this isn't even in leathers, because leathers are quite restrictive. This was in, you know, just like riding jeans and a riding jacket. I couldn't physically turn my head to do lifesavers because the riding position was just that uncomfortable for me. And I was literally in agony, so yeah, it wasn't great. Oh gosh, we've got a biker behind us, no pressure. Just trying to clear a bit of space between us and the cars, but we'll catch him pretty quick, unfortunately. We've got really control in level 2, because that's what I had it on the track day, and it was beautiful. Well, not that we should be doing any wheelies on the road, let's be real. Oh gosh, the agility of this bike is just unreal. It's just absolutely unreal. I've got a feeling that this nice bit is going to be so trafficky. That guy waved his arm up to me, he's a nice guy. But yeah, honestly, the point and shoot nature of this bike is absolutely wild. Acceleration on demonic level, so fast. Honestly though, with these clip-ons, how this thing steers, it should be illegal. Also with the brakes, with these Brembos, how this thing stops should be illegal. I went to kind of push the limits of what the brakes are like on this. Push the limits to me, because, like, you know, if I needed to do an emergency stop or anything like that. And I nearly endoed. They are the sharpest brakes that I've ever encountered on road before. Oh, it's so busy, man. What the hell? We've got pedestrians left, right and centre. We've got things turning. Dogs in the road. Humans in the road. Bloody hell. It's not a good hoonage day, is it? And I'm so limited with the weather this week. God damn. Let's get past. There we go. Job's a carrot. Oh, honestly, the sound of this. So, it's got an Akrapovic. That's one of the main things that I didn't mention, actually. What the differences are whilst on this ride. And it looks gorgeous. It's a very nice Akrapovic. Black. It's got the branding on. You know, it's got carbon tape. It's got a carbon heat shield, and it's very nice. You know, does it sound? Is it worth the, you know, £1,400 if you were to spec it on a normal RS? It comes in the RX as standard. Is it worth that? Well, if you like how it improves the looks, then that's always a pro, right? A plus. And, you know, it sounds great, but it sounds great when you're revving it and you're really screaming it. Hopefully I can insert some footage of when I went out the other day, although I had some camera issues, so I'm not using that footage. But maybe I caught me revving, showing off a Mike who was at the side of the road, because it had my attention then. It had my attention because it sounded unreal. Please don't pull out on me. Thank you, sir. Yeah, it sounded the dog's danglies. Oh my god. But for me, like riding at these speeds, road speeds, not really exceeding, run Forest Run, you know, like the national speed limit, you know, I mean, I just love the induction roar of the normal RS. But yeah, when you do rev it aggressively, it does come into its own. Let's see. I am going to spin it round and go back over the tops, and I want to spin round in a place that's easy with something that has a turning circle of a barge, and that's being generous. Clip on life, innit? Just clip on life. Tell you what, I'm having treacherous camera issues today. Treacherous. I'm also not wearing the right helmet for the job today because I'm like slightly leant forward. This is an Arai Tour X5. Obviously I headbutted the floor, as you saw, in my race helmet, or my road/race helmet. It's a race helmet, but it's what I feel comfy on in the road. And yeah, so I've got my Arai, but it likes to flop down, and also when it is up, I've just got a big W to obscure my vision, which isn't a very fun feeling. So I definitely need to sort myself with another helmet that's more suitable for track riding. So with this, I've got suspension in comfort. So rider, we've got road ABS, sport map, road traction control, and suspension in comfort, which is what we want, because to me one of the highlights of the new bike is, you know, RS and RX. One of the main benefits to me is that electronic suspension, because the one before it, the predecessor, so still the same kind of aesthetics but different suspension, it was rock hard. It was crazy. I felt like, you know, I was a buckaroo. Whereas with this, you can actually say, put in what your rider weight is, and then it can advise you what amounts of clickage you need on the multiple customizational tabs. Is that English? I don't know. Managed to get in front, so that's a good sign, right? Oh, blipper down the box. Even the back brake is strong on this. It's wild. Like, everything is just so, it feels so focused. It feels really focused. It feels like on track it had absolutely come into its own, but on the road it's like, oh, spicy. So spicy. It's just so spicy. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Comfort suspension, much better than sport suspension, track suspension. That's all very jarring for a normal road experience. Cyclists, gotta be careful. Clear, thankfully. More cyclists, but we're still clear. So we can use the road, baby. Again, it's not. I don't really want to commit to the wrong side of the road here. That would be stupid. But I think we've got enough room here. There we go. Alrighty. Brakes. Oh, they're so strong. They're unreal. I just wanted to test them then. Wild. Oh my god, it's actually wild, this bike. It feels very planted. It does not feel light and vague, and it certainly doesn't feel head shaky. Let's go. Oh my god, it's just so fast getting up to speed. Woo! It's exhilarating. It's a rocket ship. It really is. The speed of which it just flips into bends. Oh my god. Gorgeous it is. Gorgeous, but it's a lot. She's a lot for the road. And we love it. So we got cruise control as well. So it's a nice naked bike, and it is an expensive bike, but we do have things like cruise control and also all the electronic rider aids under the sun, as discussed earlier on. The amount of technology this bike is loaded with, to me, does warrant, make it worth its price, if that makes sense. I get that it's still a lot of money. It's still a hell of a lot of money for, the likes of me, certainly. But, money is all relative, and I've driven around London. I've seen the crazy displays of wealth that are there in the country. So if you're lucky enough to be one of those people, cows, look how brown they are. Hey now, brown cow. Then, fair play. Crack on, buy the bike. Buy the bike. Buy the bike. You get a lot of manufacturers, and they'll put a crazy price tag on a bike, and when you actually look closely at it, it's probably not worth it, or the riding experience isn't as exhilarating as you thought it would be for the money, and you're just a bit like, meh. But with this, the build quality's there, the construction of the bike, how it's all put together. In my experience, of course, I'm not an owner, and I haven't owned a speed triple in any capacity, so I'm just speaking from someone that jumps on new bikes and rides them around. Obviously, if you have experience as an owner, please, good or bad, share your thoughts. Let's talk about it. But seemingly on the surface, build quality looks amazing, looks well put together, lots of electronics, lots of tech. Another thing about this bike, I feel like they're quite a tall bike, especially when you get on it and all the electronic suspensionary is kind of switched off and dormant, and you get on it and it doesn't sag in the slightest. You get on it and everything just feels really taut and tight, and a bit like, oh, I'm on my tiptoes here. As a 5'4" or 162 centimetre individual with a 29-inch inside leg measurement, or 73.66 centimetres. That's my experience. Obviously, if you're a lot taller, you'll probably get on with this bike just fine from a seat height perspective. But yeah, just because it is top spec Öhlins and it's a sporty roadster, even in comfort setting, when you stop, it's designed to apply that comfort setting when you're on the move and when you're moving and grooving, not exactly when you just pull up stationary to a give way. And yeah, it all just feels very rigid and not spongy, and very it is what it is kind of vibe. And I do find it quite hard, from a seat height perspective, from a leg reach in the ground perspective, especially when I'm in leathers, because leathers are quite restrictive as they are. Obviously I can get on a little bit better in jeans, but I don't know, when you're out riding on something like this, and with my track record of this bike, I figured I better back protect her up. Right team, well I guess it's time to run it back to the studio. Right everybody, I'm back in from riding the RX, and what a machine. There is no denying that this thing is a ballistic missile, and it's sexy and it's fun. Is it a little bit too much? Maybe. Would it stop me owning one? Absolutely not. I do just really love Triumph's Speed Triple range, whether that's the RS or the RX. Although I do think my preference shifts more towards the RS, because I am a creature of comfort and I do like my upright bars. Whereas this, although is not as aggressive as the discontinued RR that Triumph produced, is still a little bit for me, for my liking, for road riding. But I do appreciate that you get sporty riders, you get sports bike riders that will jump on this and feel completely at home, and they won't have aches and pains and groans when they get off. They'll just be absolutely fine, fresh as a daisy. So yeah, it's definitely got its appeal, and I kind of get who it's aimed at. But yeah, for me, I think I would personally go RS and save some moolah. But yeah, what do you think? Would you go RS? Would you go RX? I mean, the paint job on this Triumph Performance Yellow, it's hard to look away from because it's so just bright and vibrant and gorgeous. As usual, I'm going to pop my pros and cons on the screen now. Feel free to pause at your leisure and read those, digest them. But yeah, overall, cracking ride on this bike. It's never a sad day on a Triumph Speed Triple 1200. Maybe when you wake up in an ambulance, but we don't need to go there. It's just nice when you get to ride it. So yeah, loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. All right guys, well, take care, and I'll catch you all in the next vlog. Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.